Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more 22 testing. And right off the bat, I apologize for the birds and the neighbors who are building a barn over there. So if you hear noise in the background, it is what it is. We have to work with it today. But I've got another pretty interesting one that some of you guys did request, as well as I wanted to test it and see what it could actually do, because I've seen some pretty decent results out of it from other people's stuff, so I wanted to see how my setup could actually do with it. So when I was out the other day, I picked up some of these guys, the Aguila 22 Super Extra 38 grain hollow point rounds here. Now these are not anything like a subsonic round or anything like that, which I want to test some of those too, and some of you guys have requested them. But to start out with the Aguila ammunition, this is what I was able to find, so it's where we're starting. They say it's a high velocity round and they're calling for 1280 feet per second. I don't know that we'll see that, but I do have the chronograph, so we'll see how close we can actually get to that number that's posted on the box. But for our setup today, I brought back out this guy. This is a Marlin Glenfield Model 25. It's from right around 1980 or so, I believe. And up on top is a Bushnell sharpshooter. It's just a simple 3-9 by 32. It's really nothing impressive, but it gets the job done for a 50-yard 22 setup, which this gun really is. And like I just mentioned, we know that gun is a 50-yard gun. It's not any kind of a precision rig or anything like that, but it's plenty good enough to do the job out to 50 yards for whatever I might need it for. So that's what we're doing today as well. If you've not seen the other tests we've done with 22 and this rifle, we're going to shoot 5 groups, 3 shots each, at 50 yards through this setup, and of course across our chronograph as well, so we can see what kind of velocity and energy numbers we have. So let me take you guys down and get you guys set up with a good view of the target. I'll throw the live chronograph numbers up as well. So let's head over here and shoot our 5 3-shot groups and see how these actually do. Alright, so now let's look at our chronograph numbers real quick, and just ignore the 501 that's on there right now. That just happened from me moving my hand around to get the camera set up. So for a high, we had 1267. For a low, we had 501, but I think it was somewhere around 1200, because that is just an error. And for an average, we had 1181. So the reason that's so low is because of that 501 error, and I can't delete that out of the string on this particular chronograph. So I'll do some math and I'll throw up on the video right now what the actual average is, as well as what kind of energy numbers that we're actually going to be looking at as well. So that way you guys can see the real actual numbers rather than what the chronograph is telling us right now. But either way, the box called for 1280, so we were a little bit under that, which is what I figured, but at least we're relatively kind of close to the ballpark. So let's actually pull out some digital calipers now and measure our groups and see how they performed on the accuracy side of things. Alright, so now we're looking at our groups, and I apologize, the lighting is not all that amazing out here today. It's pretty cloudy and really shadowy. So right off the bat, without even measuring, this stuff looks like it's kind of on the upper end of average for what this gun can do, or at least from what I've tested in this gun. But let's actually measure our groups and see what the real numbers are. So let's start with that top left group, which was our first one, and see what we got. Alright, so that first group gave us a 1.31 inch group up there. So definitely not anything super amazing. Those upper 2 shots look pretty good, but that one that kind of flew bottom left definitely hurt our group. But let's measure our second group up in the top right and see what that one gave us. Alright, so our second group up there in the top right gave us a 0.94 inch group. So we definitely closed our group down a little bit to under an inch, but it's still about average, I'd say, for what that rifle can do. We've definitely seen better, and we do see better results in today's groups. So let's move on to our third group in the bottom left and see how that one did for us. Alright, we're still getting a little bit better. That bottom left group, our third group, gave us a 0.86 inch group. So we're steadily getting better here. And that is what I would pretty much statistically call the average from what I've seen out of this rifle. 0.8 inch group or so is what it is. But let's measure our fourth group in the bottom right and see what that one did for us. Alright, so our fourth group gave us a 0.53 inch group. That is a lot more like it. We had two pretty much in the same hole, and we had one that just opened that group up just a little bit, unfortunately. But that is a lot closer to what I would preferably see anyway. So we definitely know that this Aguila stuff has the potential for some decent accuracy for sure. I just think that's pretty much reaching the limitations of what the rifle can do. And let's measure our fifth and final group in the center and see what that one gave us. Alright, so that fifth and final group gave us a 0.99 inch group. So we're just under an inch, just barely. So we opened it back up just a little bit. It's still not terrible, but clearly that fourth group down at the bottom right at half an inch was better. So all in all, after looking at all of that, as far as accuracy goes, I'd say it's upper end of average, like I said a little bit ago, for what this gun has shown to do for us so far. But definitely not a bad showing at all for the Aguila Super Extras. Alright y'all, so what did you think about how the Aguila Super Extras did? I think they definitely did pretty good, at least in the context of this particular rifle. Now clearly other rifles can shoot much better than this one, or at least so far from what we've tested. But like I said earlier in the video, this is a 50-yard rifle, and we know it's a 50-yard rifle. The groups open up significantly out to 100 yards for whatever reason. But what do you guys think, and what has been your experience with the Aguilas and the Super Extra version of the Aguilas? Because I know they make like 8 different versions, everything from subsonic to just ultra high velocity stuff. And if you guys like the Aguilas, what particular variant do you like, and what should we maybe try out? Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts about it. But either way, I think I'm going to wrap up for the day, so I'm going to get to packing everything up. Stay tuned, because we've got plenty more interesting stuff coming out that you're definitely not going to want to miss. So on that note, I'll see y'all in the next one.